Hi, I'm Pete Holloway. I'm a retired financial advisor and a retired certified financial planner. And as always, it's my great pleasure to talk to you on money. Uh, Wheeling, if you go downtown Wheeling, we all know it's pretty much like the First World War in France. It's a disaster area. However, I think the end is in sight. One of the projects that everyone is very interested in beyond the streets and the condition of the streets is what's happening with the property at the north end of town where the Wheeling Inn currently is. We're going to be talking to Jim Ambrose. He's the head of Tipping Point. Tipping Point is the company that has been selected to put together that project. He's a native of Pittsburgh, went to Shadyside Academy, and got a bachelor's from Rensselaer Polytechnic. He's started out as a sole practitioner, as an architect, and then went on to another company where he helped develop over $500 million in real estate. Tipping Point was started in November of 21. He's married. His wife is Maura, and they have an 8-month-old child. So we'll turn this over to you. Tell us about Tipping Point. What is it?
Yeah, we're a real estate development company, and our mission is to unlock a neighborhood's highest potential through commercial real estate development. We do it in a
Okay.
different way. Uh, it's very mission driven, and we have 4 values that we always adhere to. It's that we want to always teach people on how commercial real estate works because it's very unknown. You can't just pick up a book or get a degree in it. It's done through experience and through a lot of practice and a lot of failing. We're very truthful, transparent, and we only love to get involved in projects that are transformational. And given what you said about the road construction, those are the echoes of progress, and the Wheeling Gateway Center, which is what we're calling it, where the former Wheeling Insight is really this transformational thing that we're really excited to be involved in.
Great. And tell us about the actual task of what you've been asked to do.
Yeah, we are asked to help. So the property is owned by the Convention Visitors Bureau. We're being contracted by the Wheeling Area National Foundation. And the reason why we're involved in that partnership is that they need to take down the former Knights Inn, the Wheeling Inn property. It is within
Yes.
feet of the historic suspension bridge.
Mhm.
And it also sits on a very, on a cliff. And so there are a lot of technical complexities and marvels of engineering that go with trying to do something like that so that you do not damage either the hillside or the historic suspension bridge as a part of that work. So my tasks were 2 goals. Number one, work with the team members and help build the right technical expertise around us through procurement to be able to get the right project team in place to be able to take that thing down as quickly as we can. And then as that is happening and that is progressing, work to find out how we bridge what experiences locals in the community want to have on the site to what is also being asked of by the state of West Virginia. Given its adjacency to the I-70 corridor, the state of West Virginia is very interested in creating a visitor's experience there. Given that Wheeling is one of 62 nationally designated heritage areas, there's going to be a heritage component to it that will celebrate the area's history. And what a better place than to be next to that bridge. So we're basically creating a development plan through the lens of the community, through the priorities of the state, through the obligations of the national heritage area, and trying to create something that is generationally transformative for the city of Wheeling and will serve as a brand new gateway into the city coming off of I-70 in either direction.
This sounds like a pretty technical challenge for you. What would be some of the issues that you're really paying attention to and why?
Yeah, the first thing that you do in any of these old sites, particularly in an industrial town like Wheeling, is a lot of environmental diligence to understand are there hazardous conditions in the soil? What is the stuff that's inside the building? How much asbestos? Are there other hazardous materials that we need to deal with? So step one, and kudos to the Convention Visitors Bureau for doing this, was hiring all the right licensed environmental engineers to be able to test all of the materials that were both in the soil as well as inside the building. That
Any
helps us.
surprise? Excuse me, any surprises?
The soil, no, the soil has conditions in it that we will have to remediate in order to be able to implement future recreational uses on it, as well as future residential uses, should that be the direction that the development goes.
Okay.
So we know we got to address that on the site. And then the building was constructed in the 1970s. Historically, that was the height of whenever asbestos was integrated into a lot of construction materials. So that thing is built out of asbestos. And
Wow.
we have to quantify, we have to remove all of that material out of the building before you could start to do any sort of demolition. The other diligence that we've performed is quite extensive. We have worked with the Department of Highways, who are working on the bridge rehabilitation, so that we are also going to have it's called vibration monitoring. So we're working with them to get approval to install equipment basically on the bridge and in between where the site is and the bridge, where these sensors will measure that when we are doing future activity to take it down, we're not creating seismic activity that could ever compromise the structural integrity of the bridge. So there will be a lot of finesse for that future contractor to strategically take that down. You can't just take a wrecking ball and haphazardly do it. So that is, we're doing a lot of engineering to determine the appropriate plan to most efficiently take it down. And then finally, a geotechnical analysis to see if we were to do new construction on anywhere else in the site, how far down do we have to go to hit bedrock and be able to create any sort of substantial structure? So that's kind of where we are right now. The environmental remediation plan and the demolition plan are, this is breaking news. It is going to be publicized and advertised next week on the 27th and the 28th. So that will mark the official, the project is open for bid to be able to take it down. And I believe bids will be due March 22nd.
That's great. I think it should be made clear, there's a lot of people on the island who would like to see the suspension bridge reopened. You have nothing to do with that, correct?
That is correct.
So anybody who wants to complain, you're not the person to talk to.
No, we're going to just adapt and react to whatever that decision ends up being. And I believe that that determination are going to be made by levels that are well above us at the state level.
Okay.
And I'm sure there will be involvement with, the Department of Transportation as well.
Just trying to save you some hassle down the road.
No, thank you.
Let's shift subjects a little bit. You're talking about next Wednesday that you will be announcing certain things. Community input has been very important to this project. And explain how that works. Will there be input after next Wednesday, or will things be decided? And how just give it an idea of how that went.
Yeah, one of the reasons why I think Tipping Point was brought onto this is that the first step in any real estate development process we have is learning from the community. We try to build these development deals around the experiences that people want to have, because otherwise, what's the point? If people aren't going to use these things in an everlasting and meaningful way where it's multi-generational, then we failed. So the Convention Visitors Bureau, Wheeling Heritage, and the city of Wheeling were extraordinarily committed to maximizing as many data points as we can from people. Historically, community meetings are always done in person. You have a couple of these sessions, and while those are nice to have in person out of the gate, it's not accessible to everybody because I could speak for myself and having a newborn. Like, I can't make a community meeting at 6 o'clock at night because we're putting her to bed. So we worked with everybody on the team to create a digital experience, and that survey is embedded onto an overall website that we've created exclusively for this Wheeling Gateway site. So what we're trying to do is maximize as many opinions as we can up front, we'll identify all of the trends that are happening. So that when we then instead of doing the live community part up front, we can then come to the live community meeting that we're going to host next Wednesday on the 28th, where everyone can see what everybody else was saying from all age ranges, from all, backgrounds, all demographics, to see where people are really aligned on what they want to have happen there. And then while we're in that live event, we will ask everybody that's in attendance to take a deeper dive and help us quantify what that actually means to them and what they're seeing in their head.
That's great. We're going to put a QR code on the screen a couple times. So if people want to participate, take your phone up to the screen, get the QR code, and just go through the process. And it will be one of the many things. Now, I have a feeling, have you set a record with the number of responses or close to a record?
As of last night, we've had over 4,165 responses just on the survey itself. I believe there hasn't been that kind of a response rate for Wheeling in quite some time. When you break down where people are taking the survey from and identifying, over 70% of those respondents are locals, which is wonderful. It's also wonderful that we're getting perspectives from outsiders who want to come to Wheeling, because ultimately tourism and visitors to the city is a good thing for the local economy, for people to spend their dollars here. And this survey will be open until right before the community meeting. And then the community meeting will still be that input that we're going to have from everybody. And at the conclusion of that meeting, we will release a video that celebrates all of the input and identifies all of the things that everybody had said that we should incorporate and try to achieve on this development site. And then that'll be for the public to see. And we either do it or we
Where
don't.
could people find that video?
We haven't created it yet.
Okay.
But we'll share it with your media company here, and we'll share it with the local media. And on the same site where the survey is being taken, instead of seeing a link for the survey, you'll now see what the results were for that, so that people can understand where everyone was coming from.
Well,
And then
that's great. That's a great
full
process,
transparency.
and yeah, and involving the locals really has to mean something to everybody. Now, this, well, of course, you mentioned tourism. This will begin to add to the economic growth of Wheeling, and for what it's worth, if you're from out of town and you get off the Fort Henry Bridge and come down Main Street and see the site now, it has to be awfully a discouraging way to come into Wheeling. So, tell us a little about that and about economic growth.
Yeah, it really is. The I-70 corridor is one of the most heavily trafficked corridors in America. And, if when we take this building down and you really are standing at the edge of where that cliff is, you can't see the suspension bridge. It is one of the most marvelous, magnificent views to see down the Ohio River and to see that suspension bridge in its glory. And that's what we're going to try to give people the experience of, both from a pedestrian level, but also a vehicular level whenever they're coming off of that corridor. Furthermore, we're trying to create energy and activity that would happen on that site so that you can see it from I-70, even if you're driving by. So while you might not stop, if you can create enough enthusiasm and engagement by that passerby, they would, say, well, I got to come back here and check this out whenever I'm not trying to get to my destination. And this is really a play off of the state of West Virginia's overall tourism. Just to quantify some numbers for you, the state did an economic impact study in 2022, and over $7 billion was spent in tourism in the state of West Virginia. When you distill that down to Ohio County, that is 2,760 jobs that were created in 2022, with annual traveler spending in Ohio County of 388 million. So if you think about it just from 2022 and all the things that are here, and we can create something like this for downtown, I mean, the economic impact could be huge. So that's where it's important to obviously maximize the experiences that locals want to have, but then to also welcome people here in a way that they're gonna stay and spend time in the city, because there's really direct state and local tax revenue that could be generated from that and help continue to elevate and reinvest in the communities.
Well, that's great. I want to thank you for this report. I'm hoping it's going to generate a lot of interest. And since you're next Wednesday releasing things, this program, we're taping this on Friday, will run for 2 weeks. So after that Wednesday, people will, this will be old news, but there will still be, they should watch the news and see what's coming. And now, again, you're owned by the property is owned by the Convention and Bureau Center. Where did the money come from?
The Convention Visitors Bureau took out a loan. It's not even it's basically the same model of what they did with the Capitol Theater.
Mm-hmm.
So they acquired the property to be able to have control of it, stabilize it, and do all the right things that they're doing. And right now, all of the technical diligence and the design and the engineering is coming out of their pocket. So
Mm-hmm.
The other monies that we are trying to secure are a combination of federal, state grant dollars to be able to remediate and demolish the building, but then also to fund portions of the new construction so that we have a very modern and state-of-the-art visitor experience, along with that heritage component that I had mentioned. So there's a number of grants that the local leadership of the area have applied for that are still pending.
That's great.
Senator Joe Manchin gave a $5 million earmark toward the end of last year, so everybody's very appreciative for his support. And then Governor Jim Justice at an event in Moundsville just announced about $2 million out of the AMLR, which is an abandoned mine grant program through the state, that he's recommended this project to receive $2 million in new construction. So it would be without saying that everybody on the team is very grateful for the state's partnership and support and belief, and what an impactful project this could be for their tourism strategy.
That's great. Well, as a Wheeling resident, I want to thank you for this hard work. And I know that as we all know, whenever you start building something, there is a surprise. So I'm sure that will come up. But I want to thank you and your team and let you know that we're all really, really looking forward to seeing the outcome. I want to thank you again. We've run a couple times the QR code. Just hold your phone up to it, and it will tell you or take you to a place where you can actually have an impact on this project. Thank you very much. And I'd like to thank you
for having me.
Sure. I'd like to thank the audience too. I'm Pete Holloway. We'll be seeing you later.
Hi, my name is Craig Bober. I'm a senior finance major at West Liberty University, and today I'm going to be showing you what it's like to be a part of this program. Heading to my first class of the day, investment portfolio analysis with Professor Jesse.
We're going to start off doing some current events, and then we're going to look at evaluating some stocks, figuring out the intrinsic value. We're going to do Knight, Tyson, Disney, and Waste Management. We need to make some investments with the investment club.
The finance program at West Liberty is an exceptional experience. In the program, there are amazing teachers that always make class fun and engaging. A new student enrolling in the program should expect a personable learning experience when you're engaging in classroom activities and building relationships with your teachers and classmates. I chose the major in finance because of my interest in the finance world and my want to pursue a career in business. My goals after graduating are to become a certified financial planner and help people achieve their retirement and savings goals. Heading in my second class of the day, Management Capstone with Dr. Rocchio.
So part of what we've been doing over the last several weeks was looking at the internal and external factors of the companies that you had chosen to research.
This major is good for others to consider because of the quality of education you receive and the relationships you build with the people in the business department. Professionally, with a finance degree, you have many different career options like banking, insurance, financial planning, or even tax services. I chose West Liberty University because I did not want to go far from home, but I still wanted to be away. Personally, what I like most about West Liberty is the great people that live here. West Liberty Business program attracts many people from different countries, so this provides you with a unique and diverse learning environment being here. to be heading into the investment club meeting.
So as we talked about, here's our current portfolio allocation. So we still have about $5,000 left, so we need to make some investments.
The Investment Club is a student-ran club that is sponsored by West Banco, where we use real money to buy stocks and bonds to build a class portfolio. This club is a great place to learn about the stock market and how investing works. All the decisions that we make regarding our portfolio are voted on by all the members of the club. And now for my last class of the day, my finance capstone with Professor Jesse. West Liberty's Finance Capstone is unique because it is a CFP board registered program, which is something that not all colleges offer. In this course, we learn about topics like ethics, retirement planning, tax planning, and risk management, which prepares us for the CFP exam. And now we're going to cap off the day with playing some basketball with my friends. Being a student athlete, there are many challenges that come with it, but the rewards far outweigh them. Through my 4 years of playing football here, I learned many valuable life skills and have built friendships that will last a lifetime. Thanks for coming along with me today, and for more information, just visit our website.
My name is Hannah Salonica. I'm a senior in the psychology program here at West Liberty University, and I'm going to take you on my day. So first today we're going to go into biological psych with Dr. Fletcher.
We are going to be doing our Play-Doh activity with the eye. So we're going to create an eye out of Play-Doh, and assignment part 1 will be due the end of the day today.
The psychology program here at West Liberty University is really amazing. The courses are set up really in a way that you build a strong foundation before you move on to some upper level classes. Some of those can be like biological psych and clinical psychology. So we really do work on getting those transferable skills before we move on to the more like harder classes. So psychology is really a flexible and applicable major that we can use to do so many different things. You don't even have to stay in the field of psychology. I know a lot of people can use these skills to transfer over into different social work careers, even things like criminal justice. And going to grad school really just opens up those opportunities. For me, I really want to go into school psych, but a lot of people in my cohort like the clinical psychology route, where you really focus on assessments and the therapy setting. And our school here at West Liberty has a grad program where you get your master's in clinical psychology, and when you graduate you get to actually work as a licensed doctoral level psychologist in the state of West Virginia. So today we're heading back into biopsych, where we're actually going to be dissecting cow eyes today.
Part 2, we're going to walk through most of the questions in class, but then you will still turn in the document online. The nice thing about the cow eye is it's really big, so it's a lot easier to see these different structures.
Biopsychology is a very fun and challenging class. It's super interesting, and we're learning a lot about different anatomy, not only with the cow eye, but also with the brain. And we did do a Play-Doh dissection before we moved on to an actual cow eye dissection, so we were able to use those skills on the Play-Doh and then transfer them over to the actual anatomy dissection. And this really connects because there's a lot of malfunctions and different disorders, not only with the eye but also with the brain. So being able to identify those specific parts, we're able to use that to then learn about the different disorders that are affected in those areas. So when you're a senior, you go through a practicum experience, which is a internship of about 100 hours, as well as some classwork that adds up to like 35 hours. I decided to do my internship at the School of Bright Promise, where I get to work with a BCBA, which is a board certified behavioral analyst, and I'm on her behavior management team, where we work on responding to different crisis behaviors with the children. But it really is awesome because I get to work with kids. This is something that I want to do with my school psych masters that I want to get, and it also helps just really prep for the future and get hands-on experience of applying these psychological principles we're learning in class and applying them into the real world. So today we're heading to canine cognition with Nessie.
Timing has to do with the conditioned stimulus being presented, and it needs to happen before or at the point that the behavior is occurring.
So one of our special topics class is the canine cognition one. This is actually a new class we just added that students can take for a psych elective, and we really go into a lot of the biological functions of a dog from their birth up until their adult life, and we're also learning different skills like training skills as well as some first aid that we can actually use on our own dogs. So it's a really fun class. So we're heading into the psychology lounge to do a quick meeting. So the psychology club here is really a place that you and your cohort and other cohorts can kind of come together, and we do different things like study groups. We do some fundraisers like our chocolate rats in the fall, and we also have different trips that we take, like going to the trans lunatic asylum. We did that this year. That was really awesome. And then also we were planning on going to the psychology museum in Akron. Thanks for checking out the program with me. For more information, visit our website.
Hi, my name is Claire Kelly and I'm a microbiology major here at West Liberty, and I want to show you what it's like to be in this program. First off, we're going to head into biological chemistry with Dr. Schmidt.
Now, in looking at the reaction that leads to the formation of this bond, we see that water is released. Does anyone know what kind of reaction this would be where water gets released?
The microbiology program is a really interesting program that prepares you for a wide range of future career paths within the biological sciences. Outside of the required courses, there are really interesting electives that you get to choose from that you wouldn't really get the opportunity elsewhere. For example, I took a fluorescence microscopy course with Dr. Ozempa, where we had full access to a research-grade fluorescence microscope and assisted Dr. Ozempa on research he'd been working on. So I chose this major as microbiology was always a subject that I was really interested in school, and I wanted to learn more about it. After I graduate, I want to continue further studies within the field of medical microbiology, researching diseases caused by microorganisms. Next, we're heading into analytical chemistry with Dr. Swartz.
So it becomes, right, how do you handle all those different errors? You guys learn the rules of synthesis back in Gen Chem.
This major is good for others to consider because it provides you with a comprehensive knowledge on the biological sciences. It prepares you for a variety of future career paths. Many go on to apply for med school, PA school or PT school, or postgraduate studies in microbiology. In addition to that, with the skills you learn in the labs throughout the major, you are also very employable for work in a lab setting. So now I'm going to head into the lab and work on some of my research project. There are so many research opportunities available as an undergrad, both working with professors and conducting independent research. I work with Dr. Schmidt's lab, researching a novel family of antibiotics called rhizazomycins, and how one Francisella tularensis gene in particular plays a role in rhizazomycin susceptibility. It is really unique to have these opportunities, as usually you wouldn't get to do this work until postgraduate studies. Having this experience really gives you a leg up when applying to various graduate programs and jobs. Students in the microbiology program are incredibly lucky with the professors in the biology department. Every single one of them really cares about the success of their students and are very passionate about the subjects they teach. With the small class sizes, they really get to know each and every student and are there to help you when you need it. I'm also on the women's soccer team here at West Lib, and now it's time for practice. Being a student athlete here at West Liberty has been an incredible experience. It definitely comes with its challenges of time management and juggling both college work and training, but there's a lot of support on both sides to make it work. Being a student athlete here means becoming part of the community, and being far away from home, as I'm from Ireland, is really important for me. West Liberty really has become a home away from home. Thanks for checking out the program with me today. For more information, look at our website.